Hey, it's Avery and Andrea from the Schmidt House, aka Mommy. And today we're doing a little bit of work on our jugs. So we go jug line fishing once a year. Wish we could go more, just the way it's working out right now. And we have a trip scheduled Easter weekend at LBJ, Lake LBJ. So we stay in a little cabin there, and we have our boat lift that they let us rent for the weekend. So it's a pretty nice little setup they have. The only cabin in the park. It's a real fancy RV park, really. So let me show you what we're going to be doing today with the jugs. In the state of Texas, all jug lines have to be marked by a gear tag. So what we do is I'll wrap a little bit of white duct tape on the jug line and just put the correct information, your name, address, all that kind of good stuff. And again, just check your local regulations. There are certain lakes that you can't use jug lines in the state of Texas. There are rules as to how long you can have them out. Just other rules that you can only have 5 hooks or less. Just a variety of things. The color has to be anything but orange. Orange is for commercial jug lines. But I've got to get all these old ones over here. I want them to all have this size on the top. And one of the reasons not only are these other ones possibly barely not legal now that these have been on for a while, but we've noticed when we catch big fish, they tire out a lot faster on these. These they can pull under the water and drag them under and swim all over the place. And we've lost some jugs and we think the fish are grabbing them and it's pulling under. So I also did a little study online, or found some studies online about what color is the most visible in the water. And other than orange I think was the most visible. It looked like pink would be the best. So they had the pink in the 3-inch. This one, what is this? Let's see. I just got these from Walmart. I think they were like $4 a piece. This one might be a little bit more. It doesn't say specifically how wide it is. But they only had them in blue. And out in the lake, that's not the best color. So I grabbed one anyways, just to see if we may end up using it on something. Okay, so we're going to keep on working, right, Avery?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you my helper today? Okay. Okay, so it's the next day, and I bought a few things while I was in town today. I also ordered some of the big barrel swivels with the clasp on the end of it. You can't buy them that big here at any of the stores, so they should be in here in the next couple of days. But while I'm waiting for that stuff to come in, I'm going to go ahead and make some more sinkers for the jug line. So let me show you what we're going to do. So these sinkers right here, we made these a few years ago. They're a little busted up, but these are still fine. So we're gonna make some more of them. No big deal if we end up losing them. Something breaks off, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't cost a whole lot. So I've got these little, what are they, 8 ounces? 9 ounces. 9-ounce plastic cups, just bought them from a grocery store. I got some wire, just whatever you can find. It's not super thick stuff. And I just cut them into little pieces like this. There's no consistent size. Some are a lot smaller, some are a little bigger. And I'm just gonna take them and we're gonna put Quickcrete. I got a bag of Quickcrete today as well. We're gonna put some Quickcrete in here with some water, mush it up, and then stick this in there so it's sticking out the top. And then that way we can hook them on to the bottom of the sinker and unhook them if we needed to for some reason. They're a lot easier to move around than these big broken bricks that we're using. Although the bricks do work well, they take up a lot more space. So I'm gonna put a little bit of Quickcrete in the bottom of the cup. I don't want to fill it up because I need to mix a little water in. I'm just using this old broken trawl and some steak I found to mix the water. I got a little helper out here. You helping me, Avery? But you got to stay back because this is concrete. And then I'm just going to put just a little water in here. This isn't. Okay. Now then, and I would be doing this in my hands, but I'm holding the camera. I want to kind of get this mixed up, and what's nice about these clear cups.
Can I mix it up?
Hold on, Avery. If you splash any, it could be dangerous to get any on your eyes or skin. So you can see where it's dry. I'm just gonna mix it just a little bit here. Mix it a little bit, but don't poke a hole in the side because it'll all drip out. Okay, let me see. I think that's good. See, it's kind of hard. Now we're going to put a little bit more Quickcrete in it, okay? Just a little more. No, let me just finish this, okay? You can help with another one in a minute when I'm using 2 hands and I can hold it. Okay, now that looks pretty good. Now then, we're going to take, I'm losing that, one of these. We're just going to stick it. Avery, stop that, will you please? Gonna stick it down in there. Oh yeah, it's nice and heavy. And we're gonna walk it over here and just set it up here on the picnic table in the sun so they can start to dry out. Okay, so I'm gonna make quite a few more of those all the same way. So as you can see, we put these in there so we can hook onto them. These plastic cups, it may take a while for these to dry out, but we've got quite a while till Easter still. So that was the next step. We've got new sinkers. Well, I'm back at it today. This has been probably 2 or 3 weeks since we've really worked on the jugs, for the most part. I'm gonna show you what we did the other day and then we'll pick up from there. So on the video here recently, to you, it'll been quick. We just made these sinkers and we had them sitting on the end of the picnic table. They got pretty dry, and we went ahead and took off the plastic on the outside so they could finish up. So these are all good to go. We've got, I think we did 20 of them. We don't need that many, but I thought some of these are kind of awkward and difficult to move around, so I'd like to take some of these bricks off. Also got some new caps. We have a total of 13 jugs, and we want to make 7 new ones. So Carrie and I came out very quickly a few nights ago and just drilled a hole in the top and then screwed these in. Once we put the jugs together, we will put PVC glue and we'll make sure and slop just quite a bit up in there so no water gets in. Although these are so tight, it's gonna be difficult, but you just wanna be careful and make sure. So I'm gonna keep going from here. So Perry's going to cut some rebar. We put rebar, you can hear it. Let's see. So here's the rebar, and we kind of did some tests in a tub of water back when we first started to kind of know the size to actually pull them over and keep them over. Okay, so Carrie, after he cut the pieces of PVC, he went ahead and glued the ends on with the eye bolt with plenty of pipe glue or PVC cement. So it's sealed up. We're gonna let those dry for a little while and then we'll come back and put the other ends on and then go from there.
Put the rebar in first.
That's right, rebar first.
Yeah.
And then we'll put
we have forgotten that in the past.
Yeah, I think we have one.
That does not have
So we may cut the end off of that one and add it. Okay, so Carrie dropped all the cut pieces of rebar in here and now he's gluing on the tops. We did put just a little bit of cooking oil in them just to help with the rebar sliding up and down. It shouldn't leak, but if it does, it's just cooking oil. So once he gets these 7 ends glued on, we'll be ready for the next step. I'm redoing one of these old jug lines, and as you can see, we have this real thin nylon string on here. Our original jugs all had this, but they, broke a little bit easier and rotted, and this one's changed colors. And this thicker rope is actually much easier on your hands pulling it up in and out of the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch this one out. We'll still have one left, but it was in good shape. This one's looking pretty rough. So I'm cutting the rope for the lines we'll put the hooks on for the new ones. I'm gonna cut a few short ones, and these are gonna be for the sinker lines. Okay, so just cut all these lines. Now up here at the top, we've got this on a clip, and then this spins. So if a fish gets up here and starts spinning around, the line will just spin with it. And then we're also gonna use another clip with this swivel, and we're gonna hook this up here on, let's see, where did it go? Right here, so that this will also spin, and then this will spin if the fish goes this way, or if it goes this way. Hopefully either way, it'll help keep the lines from getting tangled up. It's not foolproof, but we rarely have fish tangled up in the line. We do, it does happen, but it's not very often. So I'm just doing one overhand knot, and then just a fisherman's knot, wrap it around. Supposed to be 7 times. I'm not quite doing it that much. Sticking it back through there and then tying it down. Cinching that real tight. Oh, sounds like Carrie just got home with Avery this afternoon. And so there you go, that's tied onto there. Now the other end's gonna go onto these hooks, which I showed you the other day. These 8/0 hooks. So these seem to work the best. We catch the most fish on these, so we've just gone to these. Not super big hook, but it's been catching plenty big fish and small fish as well. So let's wrap it around here, go back through that hole. I'm not a knot person. If y'all can figure out whatever kind of knots you want to tie on. Nothing fancy. We haven't lost any hooks that it looks like we've had some broken off, but we haven't had any come untied, so this seems to work. And then I just overdo it on the knots, I'm sure. Okay, so now I'm gonna unhook this. And these are pretty heavy duty. I can't remember what size they were. I had gotten some other ones, let's see. I don't think they're out here right now, I'll put them up. That were too small. And we wanted to, like, these are really kind of light duty. Oh my goodness, who are you? Are you home from school? You trying to scare me?
Mommy, I have homework.
You have homework? You'll live. And then I'm just clicking it on right there. And then I normally take a pair of pliers, you just cinch it down. So there's the top part. Now we're gonna, and I just kind of, when I measure, I know this is about 5 feet, my wingspan, slightly more. So this is a 20-foot line. I can just count it by doing 4 wingspans. And we're gonna do this again at the bottom. We're gonna take one of these longer pieces. I don't know, it's 18 inches to 2 feet. We're gonna tie it on again, tie the end on. Okay, then I'm gonna take the other end, tie it onto this swivel with the clip. Okay, now we're gonna go down this bottom one, and we're gonna hook it on to this bottom swivel on the bottom side, so we can spin this direction, or it can spin this way. You can tell that. I'm just gonna clip this on, and pinching this with the pliers is probably unnecessary, but it just makes me feel a little bit better. I do it with the smaller stuff for sure that I use on saltwater fishing. There we go. And like I said, we put the date on it. We've got our name and address up here at the top. We also put the link so we know how long it is. And then hopefully y'all will see a fishing video after Easter weekend where we're using these. So that's pretty much all there is to it. There's nothing special about it. You know what? Forgot the last step. What about the sinker? Let's add that real quick. So I'm going to tie this up here onto this top part of the swivel. I'm going to tie it onto this top one. Okay, and then we've got these sinkers we made. Now then, everything's done. So next thing, we've got to roll them up. So what I do is, and I always try to write the lettering like this, even though I found a couple that I didn't. So when it's bouncing on the water, the game wardens can see these are marked. No fancy. So I take this down to this side. I'll take the hook first. wrap it around. And I kind of stick it into the noodle. And then just wrap around. I try not to cinch it down super tight because then that messes up these noodles. I don't know if you saw. Oh, here we go. They get totally messed up over time, and you're supposed to have 3 inches across. I want to make sure we keep that 3 inches, and those were not 3 inches anymore. Part of the reason we're redoing them. We'll just wind it up. So I wanted to point out other thing real quick. We do have a clip on this end, so if we need to, we could unclip the whole thing and take it off. I don't pinch these down. Another thing, these other clips that we're using for the hooks on these swivels, on occasion, we do, like I said, we'll have a fish either get tangled up or have a hook buried in its mouth or swallow the hook and we can't get it out. But we want to be able to put the jug line back in and rebait it. So we can unhook this and just take off this whole hook, and then at least we can rebait the top hook or the bottom hook, whichever it may be. And you might be saying, well, why are you pinching this closed if you want to be able to unhook it? I'm not pinching it that close. It's just a tiny little bit, just because it makes me feel better. I know people may say, well, that's weakening this point right here, maybe a tiny bit, but I just want to make sure that stays on. And I've done it a lot of time, both for mainly saltwater fishing, and it seems to help. Because sometimes when I don't pinch it, I tend to lose fish, and I just doesn't happen very often when I pinch it. But don't pinch it so much that you can't still unhook it if you need to take that whole line off so you can continue fishing. So we're doing 2 50-foot jugs lines. We had one last year, the last time we went fishing, but it got stuck on the bottom. We ended up breaking it off, and now it's a 25-footer. I'm doing this really larger blue pool noodle. I can't remember if those were 1 inch, 2 inch, and these are 3 inch. So that we'll be able to identify our 2 50-footers by the blue noodle. The rest of them are not color coded. Okay, so I'm gonna go start to finish with one jug and probably not talk once I get to this first part, just so you can see exactly how we're doing this. So I have the jug that's already been put together, and we kind of showed you all the steps on that. The pieces I need is I'm gonna need the rope, just fell on the ground. So I've got a piece of 25-inch rope. I'm sorry, I've got a piece of 25-foot rope. This one's 25 foot. I've marked it on there. I've already put the address, and I've already put the date we're putting the jug out on this part down here, just with black marker. And if you see, I just scribble them out each year and write the new date. I've got 2 of these hooks, this 8/0 mustad. I've got my sinker. I've already got the green line tied to it. I've got I'll have 2 of these, or I'll need 2 of these for each hook, 1 swivel, and 3 of these swivels with latches. So I'm going to show you here in just a minute without talking. I might even speed it up a little bit, but not too fast. You can still see what I'm doing on this jug. Okay, so here we go. And there you have it. So this is a 25-footer. I'm going to put in the bucket with the other 25. I have one more here on the table I'm going to finish up. When Carrie was cutting these earlier, these new ones, we ended up with one left over that was a little too tall, but it was too short to make 2. So that's why we got an extra long one. But that's one of our 50-footers. As you can see, they're both blue. Everything else in this one is going to be 25 feet. The purple is the one 15 foot. Everything in here is 20 feet. And this last one will be 30 feet. So I'll put it in this one. And we'll have 20 jugs, which means we will need 40 pieces of bait every time we go out to, well, maybe not every time, but at least the first time we go out to bait everything. We tried hot dogs last year in the microwave soaked and Pam overnight. It didn't really work. So we're gonna see if we can't get, live perch is the best, or see if we can't get some carp or cut shad or something like that here before we go fishing. So in the state of Texas, you are limited on how many hooks you can have in the water on jug lines. So you want to confirm wherever you're at what that number is. You know, to be honest, I'm not even sure what it is in Texas because I know we're way under it. I don't know if it's 50 hooks or 100 hooks. We're going to have 40 hooks on these. So we're going to have, 4 people in the boat, counting the girls. So I think technically we could have, times 4. Now, I don't know if the girls really are going to be fishing. I mean, I hope Avery loves to fish. So she will be fishing, and I hope Harmony does as well. She, I'm not going to pinch that one. She is signed up in a 4-H virtual fishing tournament that's supposed to be starting, I think, April 5th. So hopefully we can get her to catch a perch or catfish or something so we can enter that picture in the contest. Because she's a Clover kid, she's not technically in the awards running. It's just kind of an introduction to fishing. So we don't enter links or anything like that. We're just going to send some pictures in and she'll get some kind of participation award. And then next year she can sign up for it once she's in 3rd grade. So hopefully she'll catch something. But anyways, so just check your regulations on how many hooks you're allowed in your state or your area. And there may be different regulations on different lakes in the state of Texas. Avery's out here making a little bit of noise. Sorry about that. So do check that out. And one thing I will mention, you may say, this is crazy what I'm doing. That won't catch fish. It does catch fish because we've caught quite a few. You need to check out some of our other videos to see what we've caught in the past. I'll try to link the one we had last year of going to Lake LBJ. Probably our most successful trip. We're getting better. We're learning. I mean, we've done jug line fishing now for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe even 6 years. And every time we're getting better. I grew up saltwater fishing, so I'll put my link on here. So this is still kind of new to me, but I'm learning. And I will tell you one thing I learned in saltwater fishing is that there's no wrong way to fish. You can catch fish lots of different ways. My grandfather taught me that. I think he made a bet or something happened where he took, I think, a piece of lead, just pounded it down and put a hook on the back of it and was able to go cast it and catch fish. So there's no right way or wrong way. There's all kinds of different ways, and a lot of these different ways can all get the same outcome. So don't let anybody tell you you're not doing that right. I mean, I would certainly listen to advice from people that have been fishing and know the lake, because you can certainly learn things. But then you kind of make it your own, do different things. There's lots of different ways to do things. And some are more successful than others. And the most important thing is to have fun, be safe, and not be at work. So that's what I enjoy, is just sitting out there on the boat and trying not to think about work. One thing we're kind of limited by right now is when we can go. We can't really watch tides and watch the weather because I work full time. I just go when I have time off or have a vacation, and we might schedule the vacation and book our house or our B&B or whatever, 3 or 4 months in advance. And when it actually comes time to go fishing, weather may be terrible, tides may be terrible. We went down to the coast last year to go fishing, and it had poured and rained just tons the 2 weeks leading up to us going there. So the water was very fresh. There was a lot of gar in the water, but not really what we were fishing for. But we still had a good time, and we're actually going back to that same bay house down at San Leon on Galveston Bay this summer in June. So watch for a video, saltwater fishing video. Well, as I finish up here, I hope you enjoyed this video. And check out the links that I'll put in up here at the end. If you're interested in some of our other fishing trips, I might try to link our last LBJ trip and also the one down in San Leon last year. We actually had a shark attack bait on the stringer. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Like this video, it helps us out. Turn on notifications so you know when we have new videos coming out. We just do a lot of different things around the house, gardening. We do like to go camping, we do fishing. So if this is your first time with us, I appreciate you watching the video and hope to see you on the next one.